I'm going to talk about how to get a girlfriend. And this is exclusively for women who love women. So if you are a woman who identifies as a lesbian, this video message is for you. And if you are a woman who identifies as bisexual or pansexual or demisexual or asexual, and you are a same-sex attracted woman, this message is for you. I am Giselle Wallace, certified gay life coach and author. I provide my lesbian perspective. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate all of my subscribers. And if you are not subscribed, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you. How to get a girlfriend. So you're single and you're ready to mingle. It's kind of tough out here nowadays meeting the right person, I must admit. And the climate is much different than it was even just 10 years ago. We are in the year of 2025 at the recording of this video. And although we have a lot of different access that we didn't used to always have, such as having social media, there's so many ways that we are able to meet other people. But I believe we're kind of slipping away from meeting people live and in person. I'm used to meeting women in person. I prefer meeting women in person. That's been my experience, but I've also had experiences where I have met women in other ways besides in person. Maybe I met them through different medium outlets, because technology is great. Technology is resourceful, but technology won't benefit you if you don't know how to utilize it. So I'm going to kind of give you a blend of how to get a girlfriend in person and how to get a girlfriend through technology. I have discussed my feelings about online dating for lesbians or same-sex attracted women. And although I don't support online dating, I am not totally opposed to it, because I do think that it has its purpose. Many years ago, I think it was in the year of, it was around 2014, I was in my room. I wasn't even thinking about dating or getting a girlfriend, because I remember the previous year I had a couple of girls I talked to. They were just kind of like flings, because I had a girlfriend in 2012. It was a girl that I really, really cared for, and that relationship did not go well. And I did not want to experience that kind of heartbreak again. So the next year was 2013, and I met a girl and we had a good time, and it was just a fling. I wasn't looking for a girlfriend. I thought I was gonna just go out there and just have a bunch of fun. But that was my plan. But me being a spiritual person, I know that God has the ultimate plan. So a year passed, it was 2014. I'm in my room, I remember, and all of a sudden I just hear this spiritual download. And it was, Giselle, go online and start a dating profile. And I just immediately rejected this voice. And I told myself, I'm not getting online and setting up a dating profile. I said, no, I am totally against online dating. Well, because I know that I was hearing from God. I needed to obey. And I went online, I got on the computer, and I did some searching until I found a dating site that kind of caught my interest. And then I went on to the dating site, and I'm not going to share what dating site it is, but I went there and I set up the profile. And I've shared this story before on my YouTube channel when I discussed online dating. But I set up the profile, I chose my picture, I wrote my bio, I filled out my interests and my hobbies, and I started experimenting with kind of touring the online dating site. And with online dating on a computer is different from online dating with apps. At this time, apps did not exist. This was 2014. It was just the online dating sites, the website. Shortly after, I believe the app started to come in, and I may be not accurate on that because the apps may have been around, but I just didn't know about it because I think I did the apps around the next year, but I did the website first. So I went to an online dating website, and the difference is you're on a desktop, so you see more information, and it was interesting. But what I learned about being on a website as opposed to being on a dating app with your smartphone, the primary difference is when you're on the website, it's more focused on like forums and chatting with groups of people. Whereas if you're on the app, it's more personal. Like it's more, you focused on speaking to one person. And I figured something out with the ladies because I couldn't understand, like, while on the website, I really wasn't matching with anyone. Whereas on the app, the dating app, I was matching where if you swipe left, that means you're not interested. If you swipe right, you're interested, and you both match. And so you talk. So I figured out, after doing my research with the online dating, I learned something. I learned that the women were so excited to be able to talk to multiple women at one time. That's why nobody was matching, because in the atmosphere where you have the forums and you have the chat rooms, you could just talk to all of these women from all over the place, and they had all of these profile photos. You could go in there and view their profile, and it was really exciting and interesting to experience. So I understood why nobody was matching, because the women, they were just enjoying the experience of being able to communicate and talk and chat with multiple women at one time. And the dating app, it's more direct, where you just get to match more often. So I did actually meet a few women from the dating app. I might have met one or two people when I was on the website, but ultimately what I learned is I was there for the experience, because times were changing and I needed to get out of my ways, okay? Because I was like so focused on just meeting women in person, which is great. And I still love to meet women in person, but technology is here. Technology is an awesome resource, and I needed to utilize it and understand it for my benefit, but also so I can know what's going on in the world, especially when it comes to love, dating, and relationships between women. Now, mind you, as I now reflect back in retrospect, I see that was God preparing me for who I am now, because I'm a certified life coach. And had I never experienced online dating, I wouldn't be able to coach women about online dating and what to expect and what to prepare for, and also give them insight and advice on how to navigate online dating. Because I know what it's like to date women in person, but now I also know what it's like to date women from the online dating spaces as well. So it's about the experience, and it's not that online dating is a no-go. It's just, it shouldn't be the only resort for you. And mind you, it is a quite different experience to online date as a lesbian or a woman who loves women than it is for a heterosexual woman. Heterosexual women in online dating, they are looking to date men, and that's a very risky route to go. But as women, we do need to be careful even when we're dating and interacting with women, because women, they can do some crazy things. So you still need to be careful and safe. It's just that what I mean is a different dynamic when you are a lesbian and you're dating women than it is being a heterosexual woman and you're dating a man. Because men, they can overpower women. You know, they're stronger than women, and men and women think differently and they have different motives in life. But I digress. When it comes to meeting a girlfriend, you need a plan. You need a plan. And many people don't even plan meeting someone. They don't plan dating someone. And what they're doing is they're just aimlessly expecting things to work out for them. They are aimlessly getting involved with women, and they do not have a plan. And you might say, well, what do you mean by a plan? Well, when you make a plan, it's because you need a compass, you need direction. You need to know a path that you need to take, because you don't want to do anything aimlessly. You have a point, you have a purpose for everything you do. And that's why you need a plan when it comes to getting a girlfriend. And how do you make a plan to get a girlfriend? You need to make some notes. Maybe if you have a journal, you should write down why you want a girlfriend. You need to understand what your intentions are. You need to understand what goal you have in getting a girlfriend. Why do you feel the need to get a girlfriend? Do you really want a girlfriend? And if you get a girlfriend, what are you going to do when you have one? If you've never asked yourself those questions, then you need to start asking yourself those questions, because most people have not asked themselves those questions, because all they do is they operate on autopilot. They operate based on what other people tell them to do, or they tell themselves that they need to do something when they really don't necessarily need to do something. Or if you do need to do something, you need to understand why you're doing it. All I mean is you need to be intentional about getting a girlfriend. As women who love women, we're very sensitive. We're very observant. And women are picky. Lesbians are picky when it comes to women. And what I mean by picky is, I mean, we're very particular. We're not willing to be with just any kind of woman. And if you are in a headspace where you're settling, or if you're just dating just to be dating, you're not really into the woman, or you're not really ready to date, this is what I have referred to as scarcity dating. And I've done a video on scarcity dating. If you haven't viewed it, it's on my YouTube channel. You can just check under my YouTube channel, Scarcity Dating. I believe the title of the video is Lesbians Need to Avoid Scarcity Dating. You don't want to scarcity date, ladies. When you want to get a girlfriend, you absolutely need to be intentional. You need a plan. It's kind of like you're watching this video so you can get some answers, so you can get some guidance on how to get a girlfriend. And that's wonderful. That's a great start. I'm glad you're here, because I remember what it was like when I didn't have YouTube. I didn't have a lesbian who was a life coach. I'm a life coach, to share with me knowledge and insight on how to get a girlfriend. So this is why technology is so amazing. You see what I'm saying? Because of technology, because of social media, I can be here and I can make this video for you to tune into. And you are on the right path, because you understand that you need some information on how to get a girlfriend. And that is very true. When you are a lesbian, or when you're a same-sex attracted woman, nobody really teaches us how to get a girlfriend. And the reason why is because we live in a heteronormative society. We live in a very biased world where everybody focuses on boy meets girl. We are completely left out. As a matter of fact, women are trained before we even come into the world. When we are in our mother's womb, we have been programmed to attract men. We have been programmed to wait on a man. You know, little girls, if you watch them, what do they talk about? They talk about meeting their Prince Charming. What kind of cartoons or animations do they watch? Usually Disney animations. I remember when I was a little girl and I would see Aladdin, I would see The Little Mermaid, all of these movies, and Beauty and the Beast. All of these movies were designed for heterosexual people. And I knew very young that I was not heterosexual. I knew before the age of 10 years old that I was a lesbian. I knew instinctively I was gay. But all I had was these Disney films that I would see. The world that I lived in was all about man gets woman. It always was about, even at school, all the girls laughing and giggling and talking about the boys. And it was just always the opposite of what I was. It was never where I saw two girls meeting, two girls hugging, two girls just loving each other, just laughing and smiling and being with each other as just innocent children who loved each other. I never saw that. And as I grew and matured, I still didn't really see it. If you were a lesbian, no one knew, unless you were what they call the traditional lesbian, which was usually the butch lesbian. That term used to be very popular growing up, butch and dyke. I don't really like that word, but those were the words back in the day. Some of the verbiage has changed. So Black women who are the masculine presenting lesbian will call themselves a stud, whereas non-black women, if you're Caucasian or non-black, you are masculine presenting, you call yourself butch. And then some people refer to themselves as tomboyish or androgynous. Some ladies call themselves STEM. They're able to reflect both their masculine and feminine energies. But all of this is fairly new ways of women describing themselves and defining themselves. But back in the day, you would think all women were butch. Like you didn't know feminine women were lesbians. That's the time I came from, growing up in the 90s. You just didn't see it. So we didn't have a guide. We didn't have a roadmap. I had to get it out of the mud. I had to learn on my own, trial and error. And you have to be very bold. You have to be very confident. You have to be courageous to be a lesbian in a time where people frowned upon you being gay. You just didn't talk about it. I think now it is, I won't say it's no longer a world that people are not being homophobic or prejudiced or bigoted, because we absolutely still have it. It's actually quite prevalent. However, I think that we are in the information age. So there's more information that we have access to learn more about people who are different. And thanks to technology, social media, the World Wide Web, we can view in real time the lives of so many different people. So we're allowed to connect and get to know about different people who have different lives. And newsflash, they're not all heterosexual. So this is a great era that we're in, the information age, and you should take advantage of it. But even with all the information that we do have, there's still a disconnect. There's still a lot of uncertainty on how to get a girlfriend. And the reason why is because we weren't given that roadmap as lesbians, as women who love women. No one taught it to us. Nobody wanted to tell us about it. They didn't even know anything themselves. But thankfully, when you get experience, that is the key. So, how to get a girlfriend in 2025 and beyond? You first need to acknowledge who you are. I am a lesbian. You need to say who you are to yourself before you'll be able to say it to anyone else. Because you won't be able to get a girlfriend if you don't know who you are. You won't be able to get a girlfriend if you're not comfortable in your own skin. You won't be able to get a girlfriend if you don't love yourself. And then you might say, well, I've seen women who are deeply closeted, or they're on the down low, or maybe they have self-hatred, but they still always seem to get women. Maybe they're able to get women, but not a real woman. You see, when a woman is not authentic, when she is not deeply aligned, where she's in tune, mind, body, soul, and spirit, she is like a cannonball that is exploding, and she's destroying everything in sight, including herself. She's a loose cannon. She never has stability. She has no direction. She has no peace. She has no joy, because she doesn't know who she is. What I'm talking about, ladies, is it's easy to have sex with a woman. You see, we're women. We are same-sex attracted women. We have a sexuality. We can be attracted to women sexually. You can have sex with a woman. That's not the hard part. The hard part is getting a girlfriend and keeping a girlfriend. That's the part that the majority of women struggle with. So that's why you need to know how to get a girlfriend. And that's why it starts with acknowledging who you are. Ask yourself this: would you feel safe with a woman who is ashamed of being a lesbian or who is ashamed of being bisexual? Would you be at peace with the woman who doesn't want the world to know that you and her are together, dating? She always wants you to act like you're just friends. Is that the kind of life that you want to live with another woman? If it is, well, then you don't even need to bother listening to this message. But I don't think that's the life you want, because you wouldn't have gotten this far. You want a woman who mirrors you. You want a woman who makes you want to be a better woman. And that kind of woman is authentic. That kind of woman loves herself. That kind of woman, she has lesbian energy. At her core, she is a lesbian. At her core, she is a same-sex attracted woman. She exudes that she loves being a lesbian. She exudes that she loves being with women. When you love yourself, when you know yourself, what happens is you emit a radiance that attracts women to you. It will draw women to you because you stand out. There's so many women who oppress themselves, and so they can't be discovered by other women. They're acting like they're straight women. They're acting like they're ashamed to be lesbian. They're acting like they're ashamed to be bisexual. Many of these women, you think they're heterosexual because they're always with a man. Or maybe she's always single. And you begin to wonder, why is she always single? I mean, she's attractive, but she doesn't ever seem to be with anyone. But when you talk to her, she doesn't give off any type of clue or sign that she's into women. These kind of women are not aligned. You will not be able to see these women. It's like they are invisible. So you need to acknowledge who you are. You need to be confident in your skin in order for you to be able to open up to other women that you like them. And that's how you get a girlfriend. That's the start. Work on the start. The start is being at peace with yourself to the degree that women recognize you, and you're able to talk to women, and you're able to make women feel comfortable around you, and you feel comfortable around women. We're going to be nervous. That's fine. Being nervous doesn't mean that you're not being yourself. When you're being yourself, you're able to keep going. You don't let anything distract you or deter you from the goal. The goal is, I've met this woman who has caught my attention. I have her attention, and I'm not going to let anyone or anything make this relationship sever. You are focused. You're laser focused. You're not going to even allow yourself to get in the way, because you know that you've been single and you're ready to meet a woman, and she's before you And you don't want that opportunity to pass. You're at the point now where you're at peace with yourself and you're ready to get a girlfriend. And you make every effort to get to know this woman. You don't worry about what other people think about you trying to get a girlfriend. You're done pretending like you're straight. You're done staying single and acting like, oh, I'm just focusing on getting my education. Oh, I'm just focusing on my new career. Oh, I don't need anybody. I'm good by myself. You're tired of pretending. Take action with your life. And that move can be just being around women, being around that woman that you want, showing interest in her, giving her compliments, being available, showing that you are interested in a woman will give you an opportunity to get a girlfriend. And guess what? She's going to be able to return the favor to you because you're going to be one of the few women who is showing that you know how to get a girlfriend. I hope this message resonates with you. I am Giselle Wallace, certified gay life coach and author. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, by clicking on the join button, you become a member of the Premium Tribe, which is my membership group where you get perks and highlights that are not for the public, such as videos, chats. I will go live. I'll have Q&A sessions. I look forward to you subscribing. I look forward to you joining the channel membership. Thank you for tuning in. I am Giselle Wallace. Have a beautiful day.